Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 Tomb Kings action. Yes, indeed, we're back with Grandpa Kotep, who is quickly becoming my favorite Tomb Kings character. He's here with his Tomb Prince buddy. Today we're going to be facing off against Black Iron, who has taken the forces of Tretch Craventail, who is indeed the new legendary lord for the Skaven. So Tretch is over here on the other side of the battlefield, a very interesting character. But let's go ahead and take a look at my build first. Zooming over here, we've got Grand Hierophant Kotep and the Tomb Prince. So Kotep, we've talked a little bit about him before, but he's more of a caster lord. I brought him on the Chariot just to give him that anti-infantry impact damage. Of course, going to be very good against the Skaven. Likewise, I brought plenty of Vortex abilities. So he's got, of course, Sandstorm, which is his bound Vortex. 3 charges, very powerful. We've also got Sekhmet's Incantation of the Skull Storm, which is another Vortex ability. This one is a magic spell, of course, from the lore of Nehekara, which means every time you cast it, it does proc that, let's see here, the Restless Dead, which gives healing, of course, to all units. He also has Usirian's Incantation of Vengeance, which is the kind of Milkos Mystifying Miasma-like ability, as well as the Lich Staff. So every time he casts a spell, it'll give all enemy characters plus 15 ability recharge, or all enemy units, rather. So very good. It's especially good to spam cheap spells with this item up against, dwarfs or wood elves, anyone that has any kind of strong bound abilities, or even spells. It's going to be very strong. I really, really like this item. Makes Kotep a really nasty character. Of course, the Chariot, and he does have the physical resistance from the Guardian of the Tomb Prince, who we've seen before. For my infantry, I've got Tomb Guard in the center, who are going to be very good against the Skaven. These guys are decent mid-tier infantry. They've got 50 armor, which isn't the best. It's actually pretty low for an infantry of this class. Silver Shields, though, 42 weapon strength, 41 melee defense, and 32 combat stats. Only 28 speed and 8 charge bonus, but decent combat stats and weapon strength. Granted, only 9 of that is armor piercing, so you definitely need to take advantage of the Sunder armor abilities the Tomb Kings have. Definitely, they have a Soul Blight, they have a few various abilities. You can definitely get some good value out of that, stacking them on Tomb Guard or other various units. Got a couple of Skeleton Spearmen for some nice anti-large. For tying down potentially skirmishers or artillery, we've got a couple Carrion units, and in the back, we've got the Casket of Souls. So Kotep can take this on as a mount, but it only has 26 speed, so it makes him pretty slow. Granted, it is an artillery piece, which makes Kotep the only artillery lord in the game. Personally, though, against the Skaven, I like to have Kotep on the Chariot, just because it gives him that anti-infantry, allows him to ride over the rats pretty effectively, and gives him a lot more mobility. The Casket of Souls is a definite risk. If they bring something like a Warp Lightning Cannon, this Casket of Souls is in a big bad spot. It's going to get killed very quickly, but it does do a lot of damage, magical damage as well, which of course a lot of the Tomb Kings, the Skaven units have physical resistance. Plague Monks have physical resistance. Gutter Runners do as well. Various other units, so definitely nice to have that magic missile, and you can see it's coming down doing a ton of damage to those clan rats with shields initially. We've also got 3 units of Tomb Kings Chariots. These are the bow variants, so they've got the missile attack as well. Doesn't do armor piercing damage, but 9 chariot models on a single unit means these guys can do a ton of impact damage. They're a little bit kludgy because the 9 unit models makes them very easy to tie down. It's kind of the same issue that Goblin Wolf Chariots suffer from to a degree. But granted, these are a lot more expensive, and they're also a lot more powerful than the Goblin Wolf Chariots. I do like them in this particular matchup. They're going to be vulnerable to things like Rat Ogres, but Black Iron hasn't brought any Rat Ogres in this particular battle, so they're going to be very good at riding down some of these rats. You can see we're already coming in for a precursor charge here. Black Iron's forces, he's got Clan Rats up in the center with some Skaven Slave Spears for support. Plague Monks as the third line here, with a unit of Deathglow Bombardiers, which is an interesting unit. I'd expected to see the Poison Wind Globadiers because they're going to be very good against, construct units. These guys, though, are going to be good against pretty much any armored unit. They are more expensive, but they'll be very good against armored infantry as well. Granted, the Tomb Kings don't really have any armored infantry, so I do think it'd be a little bit more cost-efficient to take the Poison Wind Globadiers and save on that money. Maybe allocate those funds elsewhere, but, this was one of the first battles we fought, so everyone's just kind of trying new things. He does have a unit of Sword and Board Storm Vermin, as well as 2 units of regular Storm Vermin with the halberds. Now, this is a pick that I very much like against the Tomb Kings. Of course, the anti-large armor piercing and 120 unit models is going to be great against the construct type units. Storm Vermin will be able to beat down most Tomb King's infantry fairly effectively as well, so I do like the pick of Storm Vermin with halberds here. I might even take as many as 4 in this particular matchup, but that's just me. Let's go ahead and get things started. As you can see, the Chariot charge is rolling in here on the flank of the Skaven. We're going to be tossing some rats around. This unit of Plague Monks just getting absolutely munched by the mass Chariot charge here, and then we're going to immediately be pulling away. You can see they'll do some bow attacks as they're pulling away here. The archers will kind of turn around and shoot in. And it doesn't do the most damage, but it's just nice to have that extra DPS as you're kind of riding around. That way you don't have to always be doing impact damage to be getting value out of these guys. More Casket of Souls shots coming down here in the center, just massacring these clan rats. Granted, they're a pretty fodder tier unit, but I'm just trying to clear out as much of the fodder as I can. Another Chariot charge coming in. This time we're getting into the Plague Monks here, and it's going to be rolling straight through the back lines, getting into another unit of Plague Monks, and these Deathwind Globadiers, who are a little bit too close behind, going to get inundated as well. So you can see, just look at the amount of chariots here. And this is the thing about Tomb King's chariots, is there's a lot of them, especially even only 3 units allows you to bring just a ton of chariots. Mass amount of chariots here has already broken that unit of Plague Monks and taken most of their health away. Likewise, a lot of these units of Clan Rats have pretty much been shattered as well. So we're going to be pulling back away, preparing for another charge. The main line engagement has gotten underway here. You can see Skaven Slaves going to be fighting up against Tomb Guard with the chariots now rolling through them. Definitely going to be a bad day for those poor little Skaven Slaves. But Kotep and his Tomb Prince buddy are now rolling through on the second line as well. You can see we're summoning up some vortexes in the back line. The Carrion have come down. I didn't have a lot of great targets for them, so I decided, you know what, let's just tie down this big area right here with the Carrion. And yeah, you can see Kotep and his buddies rolling through here, riding all kinds of dirty. You know, Kotep likes to ride around on the Roomba, but, you know, his little Jazzy isn't too fast, so sometimes he likes to take the old Stingray out for a spin. It's a lot of fun, definitely. But, yeah, Deathwind Globadier is going to be firing away as well, trying to take care of these Tomb King's chariots. Again, the Poisonwind Globadiers would have more or less had the same role here, just for a little bit cheaper. So I didn't think they were a better pick here, but you can see Kotep and his Tomb Prince buddy just rolling over the Deathwind Globadiers. The chariots have, for the most part, taken care of most of the Skaven army here, although we will have some valiant Storm Vermin holding out here. It's odd to call any Skaven unit valiant, really, but these Storm Vermin are putting up a heck of a fight here, inundated and just surrounded by Tomb Guard and Skeleton Spearmen. The Tomb Guard are going to really struggle against the 90 armor of the Storm Vermin. Likewise, the Storm Vermin, you know, they don't have the best combat stats, but they do have a lot of unit models, and the 90 armor means they should be able to wear down in this war of attrition. It will take quite a bit of time in either direction, but meanwhile, the Chariot's rolling through, just chasing down routing Skaven, making sure they don't come back for a second phase here. And we're going to be pulling this other unit of Chariot into this big blob over here, just trying to clean up some of these last Skaven units. You can see Kotep and his buddy are a little bit caught up on some Storm Vermin here. Storm Vermin have a lot better mass than other Skaven units, so they can kind of stand in this fight and take a beating a lot better. They won't get pushed around by chariots quite as much as the lighter Skaven units, but you can see another Sandstorm coming down here. Or sorry, that's the Skull Storm. This is the Sandstorm now. So double Vortex just rampaging through the Skaven lines here. So definitely a lot of fun. You can see this, the Casket of Souls also dropping its shots down in here as well. And yeah, Kotep and his buddy have taken relatively little damage so far. We've also dropped some direct damage magic, I believe. Or no, that's actually the Warpstone armor on this Warlock Engineer, draining a lot of these Tomb Guard right here, as well as doing a little bit of damage to the Tomb Prince and Kotep. But at this point, it's looking pretty good for me. Granted, the Skaven kit are definitely one of the more powerful, I would say, third and fourth quarter factions. And what I mean by that is you really have to stay on top of them, make sure their units rout off, because if they come back from routing and regroup for a second attack or to make a second stand or whatever, they can be very powerful and a huge pain to deal with in the late game. So doing as best I can. That unit of Chariot unfortunately just crumbled there, so a big pocket of Skaven is going to be freed up. Most of the Chariots have in fact crumbled at this point. In fact, I believe all of them have, so it's actually ending up a very close battle despite everything. Just the numbers of Skaven here have proven really tough to cut through. Finally, we break this one unit of Storm Vermin here with the combined forces of the Tomb Guard and Kotep and his buddy here. Kotep and his buddy are the only real mobile kind of impact damage units I have, so it's definitely going to be necessary to keep them alive. Tretch himself is very healthy, and I neglected Tretch a little bit in the beginning of this battle, so we can talk about him more here. He's got an anti-large bonus, not great armor piercing, but 25 anti-large is considerable. He stacked that with 70 melee defense, which is one of the highest of any lord or hero in the game, and he's really hard to kill. 90 armor as well, only 40 charge bonus. He does have standard eye. This Tretch's Raider's ability means that as long as he's around, as long as he's not losing, he's going to give that +9 melee attack and extra weapon damage to all units in an area of effect. He also has a unit, an ability that can make himself invisible, which Black Iron didn't take in this particular matchup, but you can see we're regrouping for a second engagement here. Tomb Guard going to be charging in against these Skaven Storm Vermin here. I also failed to mention there were a couple slingers, gutter runner slingers up here. They do have the poison, not the 360 firing ones, but they do still have the poison and the nets. You know, they're definitely getting some work done, and the non-armor piercing skirmishers of the Skaven I do think could be very powerful against the Tomb Kings. We'll kind of talk through, and granted, I haven't played this matchup too much as the Skaven, but I'll kind of talk through what my thoughts are, and we can go from there. But for now, the balance of power has finally turned the corner in my favor. Kotep and his homeboy here are going to be riding dirty. And holy cow, do you see Tretch just devouring that Tomb Guard and then getting run over by a chariot? Oh man, what a cool sequence of events. But that's an awesome animation, man. Did you guys see? I think he was just going to town on that Tomb Guard. I'm not really sure what he's eating there, but I guess he's just chewing up the bones or something. I don't know. But Tretch, regardless, going to be turning his attention to the Tomb King's Chariots here. The Grand Hierophant and his bodyguard, but it's not going to be enough. He's getting circle beaten by Tomb Guard at this point, and the leadership of Tretch is just not going to hold up. We have not summoned up the Ushabti yet, although I can. I have been neglecting to do so. But yeah, we are going to be finally summoning them here at the last moment on top of these regrouped Storm Vermin. So here they come, and rising from the sand very cinematically, here come the Ushabti, and that is going to actually rout off the last of the Skaven units there. So very well played to Black Iron Battles. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Black Iron's got his own channel. Of course, if you didn't watch the stream or anything that we've done recently together, I'll definitely have a link to his channel in the description below. I strongly encourage all you guys go check it out. So, in terms of the breakdown here, the Chariots getting a lot of work done. 135, 94, and 90 kills. Really nice work. 134 on the Cast of Souls as well. Tomb Guard acquitting themselves very well. 85, 64, or sorry, 62, 68, and 105. Grand Hierophant Kotep himself, 172 kills. Between the vortexes and riding around on that chariot, he's able to rack up the kills against the Ratmen like crazy. For Black Iron, you know, his Storm Vermin definitely held up there, and I do like the pick of these guys in this matchup. Sword and Board Storm Vermin could potentially be pretty good as well. The Plague Monks got run over a little bit. I don't know that I would bring them. They are going to be really good against Tomb King's infantry, but they're going to struggle against constructs and other things, so it's interesting, you know. Let's go ahead and kind of theory craft a little bit here. And like I said, disclaimer, I haven't played this matchup too much yet. I have played it a few times as the Tomb Kings, but I haven't got the opportunity to play as the Skaven against the Tomb Kings. So just some theory crafting, though. What I might do is Tretch seems like a decent option, or you could even go a little cheaper and grab the Warlord. I guess Tretch is pretty cheap and even kitted out with all his abilities, so Lucky Skullhelm, again, disabled if winning, so this only activates if he's losing. Interesting. I might take that. That's a pretty good item. 33% damage resistance is pretty hefty. Let's see. I do like this stay here, I'll get help. That's what gives Tretch stock and unspottable. Standardized decent as well. Verminous Valor. I'd take all of Tretch's abilities. Then you might take Warlock Engineer, depending on the matchup, or perhaps a Plague Priest on his Furnace here. We'll go in and cut some spells against the Tomb Kings. Pestilent Breath will be very good at clearing out their infantry. I'm not too crazy about Wither here, just because their infantry doesn't require a whole lot of armor, and you're going to want armor-piercing units anyway to deal with the constructs. So Vermintide might be nice. Honestly, I'd just probably take Pestilent Breath and Vermintide. I really don't think you need more than that in this particular engagement. And then something like this, maybe you bring 3 Storm Vermin. A Warp Lightning Cannon is going to be very good here at taking down constructs. A couple of rat ogres to help in that department as well. You could even go as many as 4 rat ogres. And then let's also throw in some fodder tier units as well. The Skaven Slave Slingers are probably going to be able to get some really nice value. Something like this is going to be pretty decent against the Tomb Kings, I think. May not be optimal here, but you know, we could optimize a little bit better. Maybe cut 1 rat ogre, grab a Poison Globadier to help deal with some extra constructs. Maybe we want the front line to be a little bit more durable, so we spend the cash to upgrade these guys to clan rats with spears. And then maybe just throw in one slave at the end there because we're a little bit short. But, you know, something like this I think could be very effective. The Tomb King's infantry, you're going to be able to run over them pretty well with rat ogres and ranged units. You know, you could even cut some things down and maybe bring some of these, you know, gutter runners or even the night runners might be pretty cost effective in this matchup. It's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see kind of how the meta unfolds in this matchup, but it is definitely a lot of fun. So I'll be bringing you a few more battles from this matchup and many others involving the Tomb Kings, of course, as they're new. There's a lot to learn. Definitely, we're all still learning and discovering different things. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.